What is good, guys? Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you can hearing me all fine, guys. In the chat, let me know if my new mic is doing good from your end. But big up to the chat, big up to the channel, guys. Once again, Barcelona. There is so much things to talk about. You know what I'm saying? We got Jan Laporta, what he's doing with the Camp Nou, right? Barcelona almost at the 1-1. The Nico Williams saga, it keeps on dragging. You know what I'm saying? We're not, some reporters who are reliable are telling us that it's on a hold, it's on a stall. And then some reporters are saying, be calm. And then Lionel Messi, my GOAT, apparently he might return. There was a rumors for a day, but not just that. We got other news also because just in La Liga have officially released their match day fixtures for match day 1 and like the first 10 games of La Liga. But hey, my guy Barca Volume, how you doing, man? Let the people know. What's up, man?
I'm doing amazing, man. There's so much news every freaking day, dude. They just released the schedules for
Yeah.
La Liga, which is interesting. Barcelona will be opening up against Mallorca, and for the second year in a row, October 26th gonna be a Clásico at the Bernabeu.
Yeah, bro. Real Madrid, bro. That 1 year anniversary on that day, it's not gonna feel so good. You know what I'm saying? Legitimately,
Now 4-0
exactly.
anniversary is what we're gonna call it.
Yeah. Bro, if we beat them 4-0, like I would even take a 5-0. I want that day to be remembered as like the 4-0 day. Like we have to beat them exactly 4-0 at the Bernabeu. I'm not joking. It's gonna be jokes, but like real talk, man. I'm not gonna lie. The La Liga, hey, how you feeling real quick about, I want to talk about it later on, but how you feeling about Mallorca first game? And in the chat, how are you feeling about Mallorca first game? We might see Pablo Torre.
It's
Pablo Torre, who knows, bro?
it's gonna
Revenge.
get in. It's gonna get interesting, Jonas, because if Pablo Torre decides to go to Mallorca, which we are not sure, because he has a couple offers. He has an offer that I thought it was really interesting, which is Ajax. If I was Pablo Torre, I would probably go to Ajax. They have a great history of working with players, young players. They know how to get the best out of players. So I think if we looking at Mallorca, a team who's going to play with more of a low block, they do have a pretty good team going. But I would honestly, for the style that Pablo Torre has, I would definitely consider very, very highly to go to Ajax, to be honest with you. But as far as the game against Mallorca, which is interesting, one game was close. I think it was 1-0. The second time around, but the first time around, we actually smashed them like 5-1.
Yes, and you know what's interesting about that 5-1? And guys, big up to the chat. There's a lot of topics still. You know what I'm saying? It felt like the past couple days have been very quiet with news, but just yesterday and today, a lot more news came through. So, guys, please smash up the likes. Smash up the likes. New people see the content, and the channel grows when you smash the likes. That's the least I ask from you guys. And subscribe. Subscribe if you are new. But I do want to show you guys, but big up to the chat, by the way. You guys absolutely turned up. We got 30 people here already, but when I'm looking at Mallorca, right? Mallorca, if I remember correctly, they were the team that they give Real Madrid problems. The first game, I remember seeing the Mbappe, right? The Rodrigo, the Vinicius, Bellingham, the big four. And Mallorca, they actually held them to a 1-1, and it was the same fixture away from home. So Mallorca away is not an easy game, you know. It's not like a Leganes, like not a Leganes, but like a Levante at home. That would have been, you know, that should be a confirmed 3 points if we're being real. But what do you think about Mallorca away? Like, is it hard?
Yeah. No, I'm not worried. This Barca team, I mean, they're gonna come out with a vengeance. They're gonna be hungry. Remember, they didn't play the Club World Cup. It's gonna be. I think Barcelona is It's gonna get really really hyped up for this game. I'm expecting Barca at least win comfortably here, at least 3-4-1. It's not even gonna be close. I don't expect this to be close, especially with getting Nico
Ooh.
extremely motivated. I think Barca will come in with a chip on their shoulder, which is something that I want. I expect Barca to be very motivated, especially the way that season ended last
Yeah,
season,
campaign, yeah.
not winning the Champions League. I think Barcelona is going to want to make a statement. It's going to want to send a message to Real Madrid, like do whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, Barca is going to do what they do, baby, and that's going to be defending that title, defending that treble, that domestic treble. So I
Believe,
don't
man.
see Mallorca. As a matter of fact, the first 3 games for
I got
Barca
it
are
actually. I
there.
got it right here.
Yeah, do you have them? Definitely should be 3 points. I know Rayo Vallecano. It's also going
Oh,
to be away. Remember, one thing to notice here is that Barcelona specifically asked for this. They wanted the first three. They wanted the first 5 games away, but the league only gave them 3. And I believe this is the league actually craving to Barcelona here a little bit, because they gave them the first 3 games are away, so that they can get the Camp Nou even more ready for the basically the debut of the Camp Nou for the next season. That's why Barca has 3 away games. But they all should be winnable games, except for Rayo Vallecano. Could be a little bit.
Oh, Rayo have given us problems, bro, over the year. I'm not gonna lie. We needed legitimately. That's why I was like, the Dani Olmo debut was iconic, bro, because Rayo Vallecano, do you remember under Xavi, they used to give us a lot of problems. They were legitimately our bogey team. Dani Olmo just steps in, his debut, gets subbed in. He hits like the crossbar, one of his first touches for Barcelona.
I thought last season. Go ahead. Sorry.
And then Dani Olmo just wins the game. But I think Rayo Vallecano is a tough game. And then Valencia, guys, you guys can see clearly on the screen, Valencia is going to be the team that are going to be the visiting team at the Camp Nou, the new Camp Nou.
Yeah, that's going to be a party.
They're going to try to play spoilers. Bro, I'm not going to lie. I will say this. I think Rayo Vallecano and Street Fighter, big up to you. He said something, we don't do well in first games. Historically, our last 4 years, I think we've only won one of our first game, and that was this year. Actually, I think it was this year against Valencia away at Mestalla. So usually Barcelona actually do pretty bad in the first games. I remember the history. Like, I remember one year. What year was it? I think it was under Valverde, if I'm not wrong. That, like, what's that Atletico Bilbao striker? I think Adruiz. He scored a bicycle kick.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
I think these things are fun to talk about. Sometimes people get, teams get into a role. Like, you normally don't win the first game. We don't normally do this. We don't normally do that. I think we look too much into it. I think at the end of the day, Hansi Flick, one more season into this team against Mallorca, who actually have a pretty good project. Again, they have a good team. They're nothing to sneeze at. Rayo Vallecano is not going to be anything to sneeze at. It's going to be very important for Barcelona to win the first 3 games, because the first 3 games are away from home. So things are only going to get better on the schedule after the first 3 games. So if Barcelona can go into this stretch, very focused, very concentrated, and have a great game plan to be able to win these games are literally Barcelona's to lose. I thought Rayo Vallecano put up a great fight last year, but I thought Rayo Vallecano played Real Madrid better than they did Barcelona.
Bro, and you know what's so interesting, guys? Like, it's not just that, but let me show you guys what I'm looking at right here. That first game against Valencia, look at this stadium right here, the Camp Nou, bro. I can't wait for the return, bro. Legitimately, Valencia, they will try their best to play spoilers, but I'm looking at our fixtures. Valencia is not a bad team to play. I think they're going to lose their goalkeeper, Mamardashvili. Isn't he going to Liverpool, I'm pretty sure, right? So I'm looking at it. It's not a bad team to play. Valencia, they were very poor the first half of the season. They saved themselves. They didn't get relegated. But I'm looking at from Barcelona's side, that is ideally who would you like to play, like a middle-of-the-pack team, right? Hey, I'm not going to lie. I'm expecting the Camp Nou. I'm expecting a sellout. You know what I'm saying? I really am. I'm expecting Barcelona to come with fire. Lamine Yamal, number 10. Right? We're going to talk about that a little bit. We got Nico Williams signing. I think ultimately it will happen. The Camp Nou will be a packed house, and I cannot wait for the first game because that will be must-watch TV. But what are you saying about the first game? Valencia,
dude, it's gonna be rocking, baby. That environment, dude, it's gonna be so electrifying. I don't know how many fans are we gonna be able to have for this game. I know it's 60,000 by August. I don't know the actual number by that date. I think it goes
60,000 is still a lot. It's not like it's like a 30,000. 60,000 is a lot. That's like some of these. I don't even think half the La Liga teams have 60,000 in their stadium. 60,000 is a lot of fans, So
yeah, because this stadium is supposed to hold over 100,000, but I think 60,000 was the first amount that Barcelona is able to bring in for this basically, for the starting of the Joan Gamper. That's when they're going to be open the Camp Nou, right? That's going to be that game. I think it's going to be probably the greatest game ever for Joan Gamper, because a lot of people don't really, let's be honest, most people don't care about the Joan Gamper, and throughout history, like, nobody really cares for that game. And I think this is going to be a sellout. However many people we can fit in there, everybody will probably be there because it's basically the debut. Everybody wants to be there for the debut. The same thing's gonna happen with Mallorca game. Everyone's gonna want to show up and say, "Hey, I was part of something special. I was there at the first game at the new Camp Nou when it got rebuilt."
Yo, low-key, that is historic. That's why I'm expecting the first at least like 5, 6, even 10 games of the Camp Nou. I think they're all gonna be sellouts, and hopefully we win. That is the most important thing, that we win our games. And I think Real Madrid, who do they have first game? They're at home.
I didn't have time to look at their schedule. I don't follow anyone from Real Madrid, so I didn't see their schedule. I know we're playing them in May and we're playing them in October, which is kind of off because I thought it was the schedule for if it starts in August, September, October, that's 3 months. So why are we playing them in May? That doesn't make any sense because the first round ends in December and the second round starts in January. So why aren't we playing them in March? Like I haven't really deep dive into that, but we're supposed to play them in October and we're supposed to play them in May.
Yeah, so Real Madrid, they got Osasuna, I think, first game at home, which is cool, right?
Ooh.
But they're at home though. At the same time, tough team, tricky team, but
they already beat Osasuna beat them.
Yeah, I know. I think it wasn't a draw. I think it was a draw. It was the game that Jude Bellingham got sent off, I think, right?
Oh yeah. The one, that was a tie?
Yeah,
I thought Osasuna won that game.
Nah, I believe it was a 1-1 for Osasuna. But big up my guy Javier, right? He's back in the chat, right? Guys, don't be shy. Get in the chat, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. You know what's the odd thing, though? People are not mentioning. Why are we playing Real Madrid so late into the season? We're playing them once again, I think match day 34. That's super late. And it's only this year that I thought maybe it's because we're going to try to rush to get into the Camp Nou. But why are we playing them super late into the season again? I don't really get it strategically. You know what I'm saying? Usually El Clasico is in the Messi tenure, the Messi era. I remember it used to be 7-8 games away from the last day of the season. But to have a El Clasico 4 match days away from the final day is kind of crazy. I can't lie.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really care where the games end up in. Whether we play Madrid first, whether we play Madrid in October, Madrid in November. Barcelona in 5.
It's Barcelona in 5. Yo, listen. Dude, guys, I can't lie, bro. If we beat Real Madrid, let's just say the first El Clasico, just alone, imagine saying we have won the last 5 El Clasicos on you guys. That is ridiculous.
Not just that, dude. Think about it. It's gonna be so important for Real Madrid to win this game. They got a brand new coach. They got brand new players. They inserted 260 million euros into this new club just this year alone, and going and getting beat by Barca. That's not only going to send a message, but that's only going to place doubts throughout the rest of the season. It's just going to set the tone. Barcelona here with an amazing opportunity to set the tone against Real Madrid in October. This is why I'm fine with it if they want to play in October. Real Madrid is going to be second guessing themselves if they are at the end of the day they're not better than Barcelona even after getting Alexander Arnold, getting Dean, getting Mastantuono. They can get whoever they want, man. But at the end of the day, Barcelona already won everything last year, so it's for Real Madrid now to kind of try to answer here.
Yeah, bro, listen, Levante back in La Liga. Bro, Levante is one of those teams that they used to wear our jersey. And I'm like, you remember that one season under Ernesto Valverde where we went undefeated? I think it was 17-18. And Levante was the only team to beat us. And it was so close. We would have had an invincible La Liga season. That would have been awesome. But it is what it is.
I remember that, definitely.
You remember that game, right? Lionel Messi was not playing, by the way. So Lionel Messi that year in La Liga went invincible, bro. But before we actually get and speak about Lionel Messi, I do want to talk about Nico Williams, because have you seen the reports the past couple of days? Bro, the reports, these are reliable journalists, that you would say Fernando Polo, guys all these guys, all these Barcelona reliable tier 1 journalists. Majority of these guys have been conflicting themselves with the Nico Williams news in the past 3 days. And a lot of people are saying, Nico Williams, is he stalling the deal? Is he thinking about it? Is he double guessing it? Is Atletico Bilbao, are their mind games finally playing up to it? But more reports today, guys, and it looks like Nico Williams, the saga will be done by Friday. That is when Barcelona are trying to activate, or at least planning to, right? The release clause of Nico Williams. But listen, I mean, what are you saying about Nico Williams? The whole saga the past couple of days, it's been kind of weird. I can't even lie, you know?
Yeah, there was a lot of misunderstandings here. I feel like this is an issue that comes from Barca. From the stories that I've heard from, reports that came out of Gerard Romero. There's another, the other guy from Mundo Deportivo. What was his name? I think his name was not Fabricio, but I think it's what was his name? Do you remember his name? It's
no
Franco.
idea,
I think it's Franco something, but that's the Mundo Deportivo. That guy is really well connected. Every time he brings a subject up, he doesn't talk just to talk. Okay, so he does have a lot of insight. He does have a lot of inside information. So he came out and said that well, there was a Nico Williams agent was asking for certain guarantees, right? And then I guess then Gerard Romero, also very well connected, came out and said, no, everything is still in curse. Barcelona within the doors feel like the one executive was the one who leaked this information, and they know that executive, because that executive, the same executive who doesn't agree with Nico Williams to Barca and instead wants Luis Diaz. And that same day, he leaks the story that Barcelona is still interested in Luis Diaz. So I know there's a whole lot of moving parts, but at the end of the day, I think two things were true here. One, Barcelona executive leaking this stuff and saying that, they wanted this out, saying that Nico Williams was demanding some guarantees. And then on the other side, there was the rest of the other executives saying that no, Nico Williams and Barcelona have already reached the agreement, and Barcelona will follow through with this signing, and they are going to drop the check to La Liga. So at the end of the day, like, this is a whole story, and I feel like Barcelona looks bad because they have one executive leaking stuff, and they also leaving Nico Williams out to dry, because this comes across as Nico Williams second guessing himself, having doubts, and also kind of backtracking on what he wanted to do as far as not demanding so many guarantees. So at the end of the day, like, Barcelona makes Nico Williams look bad. I hope, that this still goes through, because not because of these rumors, but just because of Barcelona just couldn't be more buttoned up in the front office.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. When I'm looking at this, apparently it was leaked by basically the board, that there's a side of the board apparently that actually favors Luis Diaz, And I'm gonna say this: people might think it's Deco. I don't even think it's Deco. I think it's probably other people, because people, when they always link Deco,
it's not Deco. It's not Deco.
You know why?
100% not Deco.
But this is the thing, though. Deco, I always say Deco probably likes Nico a bit more than Diaz, because even though he does like Diaz, Nico is the guy that he chased all of last summer. So I'm like, Deco actually likes, there's more proof that he likes Nico than he likes Diaz. You know what I'm saying? So it's probably somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Because the latest story right now is that Barcelona plans to drop in that check tomorrow or by Friday. And that consensus is that Flick and Deco are on the same page on this. They want Nico over anybody else, and it's already been decided. And this is why Barcelona has it in their plans to go drop this check. So there's no other misinformation that people should take away from this. And at the end of the day, it's like Barca, I guess Nico Williams and his agent were a little off on just not on the same page. Like that, I think the agent was looking for more guarantees that Nico Williams wasn't asking for. But the agent, it's his job to have the best interest of the player, and he wanted to get as much guarantees as possible. He wanted to get the same, from the story that I heard, it's like he wanted to get the same deal that Dani Olmo got, to where if he doesn't get registered, he wanted to be a free agent. And then Barcelona would look 60 million euros. So Barcelona didn't want to do that again, didn't want to go through that. They got scared with Dani Olmo, so they learned their lesson. They don't want to do that guarantee. But now Nico Williams and the agent apparently are on the same page. Nico Williams is not asking for these guarantees anymore. And this deal is going to happen this week. Barcelona will activate this release clause. Like, I'm almost 100% sure, maybe 99% sure Nico Williams will be a Barca player by next week.
Yeah. I want to read the chat for a second, guys. Big up to the chat. We got more than 35 people here, guys. I want 35 likes minimum. So, guys, if you haven't smashed the likes, please do so already. Big up Bekele. He said, I just hope they sort out the finances before the season kicks off. Facts, bro. If we can get everything registered, all of our signings registered, at least Yan Garcia and Nico Williams, bro, by the first La Liga game, right? That would be a dream. But I do want to point out something. So basically, Barcelona, Nico Williams, today it came out that he cut his holiday short and he's trying to get this deal wrapped up. You guys seen that he was with Lamine Yamal, I think in Marbella, relaxing, chilling up, you know what I'm saying, with Lamine. But it looks like Barcelona, they're targeting Friday. Multiple reports are saying Friday is the day that they're going to trigger the release clause. But listen, I'm going to be honest, guys. I would give it the whole weekend because we already know Barcelona, they always take their time with these type of deals. They always say next week and then it'll be the week after. But it looks like they will be doing it maybe in the next 10 days. I can say that. But I also want to say, Joan Laporta and also Barcelona, apparently it's been reported, Javier Tebas has been talking, right? But Catalonia Radio, they said that Barca is reportedly just 8 million euros away from going back to the 1-to-1 rule. And I mean, you want to start off with this, the 1-to-1 rule?
Yeah, so Barcelona is expecting to have the 1-1 rule by the Pablo Torres decision. So Pablo Torres will very well put Barcelona into the 1-1 rule. It's everything that Barcelona is expecting right now. This is just pending his decision from reports, right? Pablo Torre has a strong push. Ajax here is making a strong push, late push for Pablo Torre. Basically, they're literally trying to hijack this deal from Mallorca. Mallorca thought they had it all deal and closed, and now they're giving Pablo Torre more options. So it's just gonna take a little bit more time. And at the end of the day, I think that Pablo Torre will ultimately be the one deciding. But just that sell alone will push Barcelona to the 1-1 rule.
Yeah, you know what's crazy, bro? Like this comment by Shemeka, Barca, have you noticed that our finances, bro, we've actually sold more than we actually made. Or how do I say it? We sold more than we actually spent last season. We only spent Dani Olmo. Everything else was like freeze. It was a Pau Victor, 3 million. Barcelona have actually sold more with the Vitor Roque, with a lot of other guys were for cheap deals. So, hey, listen, bro, Laporta is cooking up, but absolute facts. This comment right here, this is so true, guys. How hyped are you guys to see Hansi Flick set up the team with Nico? I cannot wait, bro. I legitimately cannot wait. You know what's funny? This, I already told you guys, this is my Nico Williams. This is the Spain jersey for Nico when he won the Euros, right? And I bought the jersey. Let me tell you guys a story. I bought this jersey.
That's a Nico Williams jersey?
Yeah, this is a Nico Williams jersey, not Lamine Yamal. People get surprised. But the reason why is because you guys remember how there was some Barcelona fans that were going
show it off.
Well, you guys can see it's Nico, bro. I mean, I don't know if I can.
Okay.
It's Nico, bro. It's not Lamine, bro. I'm telling you guys. But the thing is that, you know how all the Barcelona fans, there is not all of them, but there was a few content creators that were getting the Nico Williams Barca jersey with Rafinha's number. I was like, nah, that's disrespectful. But you know what I will do? Just in case he comes, because I had a feeling he would come. If not next summer, you know what I'm saying? If not that summer, I was like, I'm going to just get a Spain jersey, just to stay safe. But listen, if he comes, bro, then I'm very happy that I got this. But going back to Barca, I can't wait. I legitimately can't wait. But I do want to actually ask you this. Do you think Nico Williams is world class, or do you think that he could get to that level, like just as a player?
Yeah, so I want to answer this text real quick, and then I'll answer you. I am just so high for Hansi Flick next season. But the main reason why is not Nico. The main reason why I'm so high for Hansi Flick next season is because Hansi Flick will finally have a season where he can actually pick some players, right? He can actually, last season, Barcelona didn't have the money or didn't have enough time to insert a new manager and a new manager to bring in new moves. He came in late before the start of the season and didn't have enough time, or there was no money for Barcelona to go out looking for players. We basically got Pau Victor and we got Dani Olmo. That was it, man. And honestly, Dani Olmo wasn't even Hansi Flick's. That was the front office trying to pull something out of nowhere because basically the Nico Williams deal fell through. So Barca wanted something to give to the fans, right? Wanted to give some hope to the fans, and they did the Dani Olmo deal at the end of the day. So why I'm so excited and so high season is because it starts with Hansi Flick and having a whole year with this team group of players, and so that he gets to know everyone better. And now the new players that are coming in, and remember, John Garcia. I call John Garcia as a totally Hansi Flick signing, because honestly, the Deco didn't even want a goalkeeper. And I don't even think Laporta even thought about it. And even Deco said, I don't know anything about goalkeepers. And then now, next thing you know, we're signing a goalkeeper. That's the first signing that we get is John Garcia. That is why I'm so excited, because Flick finally gets a group of players that he likes. Now he's going after Nico Williams. We'll see who he gets next. I believe Barcelona is going to go after 2 more players here. So who knows? That is why I'm so high for Hansi Flick when it comes to next season. Now, to your second question, as far as
I do want to say. So,
okay,
like my question to you, basically, right, was Nico Williams. I think he's a good player, right? Do you think that he can be world class or like a top 5-6 winger in the world one day? You know what I'm saying? And the chat, get in the chat, guys. Get in the comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking. But what are you saying about that?
So honestly, my take on Nico Williams is his pace is incredible, his speed, his dribbles, everything is there. So would you believe if I would have told you that Rafinha was going to have 54 GAs by the end of the season? If I would have told you this last year, if I would have told you this last year of July, would you believe me or not believe me?
No, absolutely not. Because Rafinha was a guy who was getting like 22 GA. So to get like 55 to legitimately like times 3 your GA, of course I would have never believed that. But that's why my point, what I want to say about Nico is that I think that Nico is a good player. I think that he fits the system. When you're talking about Nico Williams, the fit coming to Barca, it absolutely makes sense. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong when it comes to that. I'm just saying world class. World class is Lamine Yamal. World class is Pedri. But I will say this. I think he's a good player, right? And he's coming to the Hansi Flick system, right? Where even guys like Ferran Torres with that, people do not rate Ferran Torres. Nico's better than Ferran. So I think Nico will still cook at Barcelona.
I believe that Nico Williams is going to overachieve with Hansi Flick. He's going to be thought of as like, where was this player before? Because he's very underrated. Most people don't see it that way, but he's very underrated because, honestly, Bilbao, nobody watches Bilbao. I watched a little bit more Bilbao this season because they made a deep run into the Europa League. Yeah, so that's why. But other than that, we don't normally see Nico Williams. Every time we see him with Spain, he looks like a total stud. So honestly, all these abilities, I don't know if he's going to get the biggest. He's not going to get, probably not register the biggest numbers in terms of assists, in terms of goals. But in terms, look, the way yesterday Manchester City loses to Al Hilal, right? If you look at that game, this guy, Jeremy Doku, right? He didn't have any assists. He didn't have any goals. But, bro, he was a huge problem for Al Hilal on that left side. Nobody was creating anything on the right side. That was the main issue why Manchester City couldn't break the backs of Al Hilal. But Jeremy Doku, every time he had the ball, he was making something happen. So these are the things that sometimes, in my opinion, Nico Williams doesn't have to get to a level where he's a world class, where he's the biggest left winger in the world, but he can be the best for Barcelona. At the end of the day, that's all what it matters, is how good can you play in this team and how well can you play in the Hansi Flick system. And I think it's going to be just perfect. And he's not even going to need to be the best player in the world.
And no, this is a perfect comment because I'm going to be honest, right? I think Nico Williams, the dribbling, the pace, and I saw one of your videos, right? The other person, Buga, was saying how he's a one-trick pony. Listen, I don't agree with that. I think Nico is a talented player, but I'm going to be honest. When we're comparing talent levels, I'm just saying Nico at the talent alone, it's not like world beater. Like it's no Lionel Messi, Neymar, Lamine Yamal. But I think that he can be like one of those players who's just a very good winger. I think he can be a top 5-6 winger in the world one day. I don't think that's a stretch. There's not many good wingers. Dembele is playing striker. Who are you saying? Like Lamine Yamal, Kvaratskhelia, these guys are like the top wingers, right? Vinicius Jr., but the way that he's been playing the last year, I don't even know about him. So I think Nico can be a top top 5, top 6 winger in the world. But what we need, the reason why I'm very hyped for the transfer of Nico Williams is the fit and who's his manager. That's actually the key for me.
Yeah.
I think
Go ahead.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is that I truly believe that Hansi Flick's going to get the best out of him, and I think he's going to improve his goal scoring because Hansi Flick has even improved. Although Lamine Yamal's finishing is not perfect, he still improved his finishing from the year before under Xavi. Ferran Torres, the guy times 3 his GA, right? Rafinha, same thing with him. That brother, he times 4 his GA. So I think Nico Williams will legitimately times 2 the GA. He's in a great system. We see him cook time and time again with Spain with similar players. I think it's going to work. That's why I'm not against the signing of Nico Williams. I'm just saying the only thing is Nico Williams. What about outside of Hansi Flick? What about if we get, and I know it's a problem for a different day, right?
Yeah.
And ultimately, I'm just sparking a debate, really, But I think Nico's a very good player, right? And this is a bit of a hot take. I think that Nico Williams, I think he's a starter, but I think the only perennial confirmed starters are Lamine Yamal and Rafinha on the team. I think Lewandowski, Olmo, Nico, they're the tier 2 starters. You know what I'm saying? Would you agree with that?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And the Kvaratskhelia, honestly, that Kvaratskhelia example, it's a perfect example. Like Kvaratskhelia is making us think like, how did a team just went away from this player? How did somebody gave it away to PSG and basically look how unstoppable they look right now? Honestly, PSG right now, why do they look so good? They have wingers. They have wingers to just they even have on the bench Barcola. They have the Serdue. They have the Kvaratskhelia of the world, the Dembele. Dude, they have so many wingers they can throw at you, and none of them have to be the superstar. And honestly, Kvaratskhelia, like, he wouldn't score any goals for Napoli, but he will create. He will still show his abilities. He will still be unstoppable. He was still making all these big runs because he's really fast. But it wasn't nothing crazy. But you put him into a different system with PSG with a bunch of other players that are incredibly great and fast pace. Now you can plug him in, and now he won't stop scoring. I see Nico Williams being even better than Kvaratskhelia. I know that might be a little bit eye-opening for me to say that right now, because obviously, like, I can't prove that, like, Nico Williams is not playing for Barca, but I believe that Nico Williams can be better than Kvaratskhelia for Barcelona in the near future if he comes in.
Yeah, what I would say is that I think Nico Williams is still a very good player. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Hansi Flick's going to get the best out of him, right? But this is an absolute fire comma. I can't lie. Nico, great talent. At the end of the day, I think he's going to make life easier for Lamine Yamal. I think Lamine Yamal, he will be less tired because we always had to go. You remember watching us. We always had to go against Inter Milan to the right. We couldn't go to the left because nobody was there. Like, Rafinha tucks in, and Rafinha, he tucks in because he's not a 1v1 player. That's not where he makes his money. Rafinha makes his money in the middle, right? And then Gerard Martin cannot really overlap or be like out wide all the way like Alejandro Balde would have. But I think Nico Williams will help us. But this comment is absolute fact. When Barcelona, if we get a young number 9, that's all we need. The project's complete. I'm also going to throw out center back. I think Barcelona are one more center back and one more striker away from their whole rebuild being complete. Now it's just time to win. You know what I'm saying? Would you agree with that? Next summer, I'm saying 2026 summer, I think striker, center back, you got a complete team with Nico, Lamine, Pedri, your future striker. You got a squad. You know what I'm saying? And Barcelona, by then, I'm expecting big things.
Yeah, no, definitely, dude. As far as the number 9, if we're going to get a young number 9, I would say we need to get him right now. Because if it's young, right, we were talking about somebody who's developing here, or are we talking somebody? Because to me, I think Lewandowski is going to feel a little old this season coming up. And these things are very unpredictable when it comes to aging players. They can have a great season right now, and then the next season they'll be totally gone, dude. The legs are going to be totally gone. And now he looks like he has been training, but I don't see Lewandowski just even being close to the level that he was last season. Now, it may be a little bit of a hot take. We'll have to see. Only time will tell. But if it was up to me, I think to have a perfect offseason, Barcelona it's kind of like a year too late on the Lewandowski deal. Unfortunately, we signed him for that extra year, and we have to keep him. And he wants to play out his contract. There's no way to get into a war right now to just basically ship him to Saudi.
No,
But
I don't think
that
so.
would have been the best, in my opinion, because that opens up a roster spot, and now we can plug in Rafinha, we can plug in a Dani Olmo, false nine. There's so many other. We can unlock another level with this Barcelona team, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, we're gonna have Lewandowski, we're gonna have Ferran Torres, and this is the reason why I don't think we should get a player like Rashford right now, because it just be too redundant, too much for one position. But I do think that for us to go to the next level, we need to have a striker. Look how easy it is when you have such a striker who can deliver time and time again. Look at Gonzalo, what he's doing for Real Madrid, scoring that game-winning goal today, because he's on a roll. When you have a number 9 who's just clinical, who just delivers that goal every single time, and Mbappe bailed Real Madrid out of so many stinkers last season, it's not even funny, dude. Like it's such a cheat code to have a prolific number 9 ready to eat every single game with a bunch of goals, bro.
And you know what? Just because you said that, bro, I got a question to the chat and also you. How many goals would we have scored and just Lewandowski if it was a prime Lewandowski? Guys, if we had a prime Lewandowski, not this Lewandowski, that's still good. He still got 40 plus goals. The guy was still phenomenal on paper and won us 3 trophies for sure. But how many goals would Lewandowski have scored if it was prime Loa at Bayern, 26, 25, 26? I'm not going to lie to you. Genuinely, he scored 43 goals, right? Like at this age that he can't even move that well. His first touch is shaky. I think that genuinely, if it's a prime Lewandowski, I think he scores like 67, 68, something ridiculous. Goals, not even assists. I mean, how much would you say, bro? Because seriously, he scored 43 and he missed about a zillion chances. I'm not even joking.
Dude, Mbappe, just for put it in perspective, Mbappe probably would have scored 60 goals with this Barca team. I'm not going to lie. Mbappe built out Real Madrid so many freaking times. It's not even funny, dude.
60? Nah, yo, relax.
Dude,
bro.
Mbappe would have scored 60 goals with Barca last season. I'm telling you, like,
bro.
To have a cheat code like that, to have somebody who can a prolific number. This is why I'm telling you, bro. This is why I'm telling you, you gotta have a number 9. Look at what Gonzalo's doing. He's inspired this kid, like he taking every single chance. By the way, and I know this isn't a Real Madrid topic, but I saw my man Dali here, so I don't know if he's listening to it.
Yeah,
but
big up
to Real Madrid, but honestly. To find this kid in this Club World Cup, it's like striking gold. It's like literally winning the lottery, because this kid, dude, I feel so bad for Endrick, because this kid looks so clinical. He looks so good. He came in for Endrick before the end of the season. He played great. Now he's showing Xavi Alonso what he can do. I don't know what is going to happen between Endrick and Xavi Alonso, because how is Xavi Alonso going to just not give this kid more chances after what he's doing right now? It's just insane.
Football, that happens. That happens in football. Even with us right now, Pablo Torre was bought by the club. Fermin Lopez comes out of nowhere and he takes his position. It just, whoever delivers first for the club and delivers whenever they get the chances, that's what happens. So if Endrick is not going to play because that young Gonzalo kid looks sick, that's just what happened. It happened with us, with Fermin and Torre to a degree also. So it just is what it is, right? But I big up John Williams for the comment, guys. I will read the chat right now before I move on to the next topic, right? But you're saying now that we're getting used to the Flick system, who should be the next manager that should take over Barca and Flick? The reason why I highlight this is an interesting comment. And listen, I'm saying maybe, I don't know if he's open to it. I would love Luis Enrique. On top of that, I'm looking at it, maybe Michel from Girona. I mean, I don't really know. Like, that's way in the future, but I think Hansi Flick for now is the guy. And let's be honest, let's enjoy the Hansi Flick years. We had year 1 was very fun, right? But let's enjoy this time, enjoy it.
Yeah, honestly, it's a little disrespectful to Flick to start talking about next manager, because we don't know. He may change his mind. I know he's out for the next 2 years, right? He was only signed for 1 year. Now he extended his contract. So until we'll let those guys worry about it later. Let future Barca fans worry about that later.
No, big up Emmanuel, bro. But you said Lewandowski would have scored 90 goals if he was in his prime. You know what's crazy? I think that honestly, it sounds crazy, but I genuinely believe that Lewandowski could have scored 70 goals if he was in his prime this year. I'm not even joking. I genuinely believe that. Like
90 goals?
Not 90. I said 70. He said 90, bro. I'm not saying 90.
Who
90
would have
goals in one season is ridiculous,
No,
bro.
dude, Messi scored 91 goals. That
In a year,
record,
calendar year.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. That record will probably never be broken. You know
Nah,
why?
it won't,
Dude,
but that's ridiculous.
Haaland just freaking took Premier League by a storm on his
Right.
first season, dude. He's scoring every single goal, hat trick after hat trick, so many goals, dude. So many goals, right? Dude, he scored 64 goals. Like at the end of the season, like, dude, I'm still processing how Messi scored 91 goals in 1 year, bro. Like that's not nobody's coming even close.
Nah, Messi's
Not
the
even
GOAT,
close.
bro.
That
Nah,
season was insane. That season was insane.
Messi's the GOAT.
It's
Like,
a little bit of an anomaly. That's why it was a record breaking because it's an anomaly. Not even
yeah.
Messi could top that. Not even Messi could top that.
No, honestly, bro. No, Lionel Messi though, bro. That's Lionel Messi, bro. I'm gonna be honest. That doesn't count. That guy is fake. Legitimately, Lionel Messi. The way that guy dribbles, the way that he's also a playmaker. Honestly, that guy is fake. I can't wait. I don't know if Lamine's gonna be that guy, but I'm not even putting the pressure on. That guy was a joke. Legitimately a joke.
It's something else.
And I have a question. Have you seen the topic that Lamine Yamal might be our free kick taker? There was a report that said that. And I'm just remembering the days that we had a free kick taker in Messi, that everybody used to get their phone out when he had the ball. Free kick. You know why? There's a very good chance that Messi would score the free kick. And I can't wait until we have an excellent free kick taker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, Messi was just great at everything. That's the thing. Messi was an alien, bro. Like, it just out of this world. Like Messi wasn't the best player in the world because he's not from this world. Like you can name Cristiano, you can name Maradona, Pelé, whatever. But honestly, like Messi, like the penalty kicks, right? The free kicks, the dribbles, the pace, the speed, the finishing. Like, was there something that Messi couldn't do? Like, only thing Messi couldn't do was score from headers, and he even scored a header in the final of the UEFA Champions League against like freaking Towers, bro. Like. And the only reason why he couldn't score with his head was just because he wasn't big enough. He never developed that. But other than that, like he just knew how to do everything. With Lamine, I don't know. He has to get really consistent on free kicks because Rafinha is very good at free kicks as well. He's not elite, but to take away every single chance from Rafinha, like people knew Messi. With Messi, we had the best chance of that free kick. So,
but I have a question because
for Lamine to take over like that, I think he has to be more consistent. He has to show that he's good at taking free kicks.
Yeah. So when did Messi become the penalty taker, the free kick taker? What age was it? Because there's no way when there was Ronaldinho.
No. I think that was around probably 20. I think it was when Ronaldinho left. Because that last season where Ronaldinho and Messi played together, you can really see Ronaldinho handing him the keys, handing him the baton, and saying, "You know what? It's you to take over. I'm gonna give you the assist. You're gonna finish it up. You're going to take this." You know, you can see Ronaldinho giving Messi more responsibility by the game on his last season with Barca. This is Ronaldinho was a major deal for Messi, kind of segueing into that role of that just being, putting the team on his back. And basically Ronaldinho was the one who basically handed those keys, and Messi was just there to take that opportunity. And oh my goodness, what a player he became.
Bro. No, real talk. I'm not gonna lie. Ferran on free kicks. I think that, to be honest, our free kick taker, I'm okay with it being Lamine though, because I think that he's a player that, you know how Lamine Yamal scores worldies, amazing world-class goals, but then he messes up the easy ones. Like, I think Lamine can be a great free kick taker. I think he has the potential for it, right? I think penalties, bro. I don't want him on pens. I think you got Lewandowski, you got Rafinha, right? You got Ferran Torres. I think those three guys are way ahead of him. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to free kick. And
almost a great penalty kicker. Like, he missed one the other day, and then he had to repeat it. But Olmo, I've seen Olmo take plenty of penalty kicks. He's really good at it.
Yeah, I do want to move on, guys, because, right, one of the topics was actually a guy that we were talking about, and that was Lionel Messi, because there was some reports saying that Lionel Messi is considering joining a club in a more competitive league, right? And a bunch of people, and it would be for 6 months to be prepared for the World Cup in 2026 in America, but And of course, when people hear Lionel Messi might be leaving Inter Miami, you know the one club that they linked to. It wasn't Napoli, it wasn't Manchester City, it was FC Barcelona. And you know what I said to the reports of Messi seeing out his contract and he has 6 months until the World Cup? I'm not gonna lie. I want to say my take before you get it, but in my opinion, I think Lionel Messi, I think that we just need to allow it. You know what I'm saying? I think that Lionel Messi, I'm open to a friendly, right, with Inter Miami where he plays for Barcelona. Maybe he can do half and half where he switches jersey midway. That would be cool. I'm even open to Lionel Messi having maybe a one-day contract, something like that. But a whole 6 months that we're going to try to win the Champions League. We're going to try to win La Liga. We're going to have that El Clasico 4 weeks away from the end of the season. I'm like, I don't know. I think Lionel Messi, that era has fully passed, right? And I think we're in the Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, Dani Olmo, Pedri. I think we're in that era. And I do not hate Messi, guys. Why would I hate Messi? This guy was the reason. Him and Neymar was the reason. You guys see Neymar over there, that jersey. Neymar and Lionel Messi were the reasons why I became a Barcelona fan. But I think the era has passed. I don't want the team to play to him. And I'd rather have Lionel Messi. I don't want the legacy staying. I would rather have Lamine Yamal and Rafinha keep ascending. You know what I'm saying? But what are you saying about it?
Dude, I'm gonna be honest, man. Who's that guy over there? That's the best player in the world. I'm just not gonna lie. There's some music to my ears, by the way. The Messi to Barcelona. I always wanted this. Like my heart, right? My heart is telling me that I want to say yes if there's an opportunity for Messi to come back. In a perfect world, right, where we live in this fantasy world, we say yes, Messi, bring it on. I do want Messi to do the same thing that Ronaldinho did to him. Do that with Lamine Yamal and basically wrap him around his arms, right, and just kind of teach him the ropes and tell him the things that he needs to do. We all see him getting out of line on vacation. It's his vacation. Nobody cares. But it doesn't hurt to have someone with experience showing you the ropes, same position, teaching you a few things. Now, after saying all of that, I can be as excited. If this news break that Messi comes in, I'm going to be the first guy to be really excited about him coming in. And I do believe, by the way, if Messi comes to this team and plays for at least 30 minutes a game, he will rack up so many assists and he will rack up so many goals. Like you'll be shocked. Like Messi is still got the edge. He still got the dribbles. He still got most important thing that Messi still has right now is the passes, bro. The long passes that Messi has right now, just hitting you in stride like a freaking honestly, like Tiger Woods just hitting a pot, like just goes really nicely put right into the target. Dude, that's just insane by Messi. The pass.
I have something to say about Lionel Messi, and it sounds disrespectful, and this is a true comment. Messi obviously offensively would cook. This is the best playmaker of all time. This is the best dribbler of all time. This is the best offensive weapon. He's a one-man band, right? But I'm going to be honest. It sounds disrespectful as heck, but I'm not going to lie. In the flick system, I genuinely think that Hansi Flick, he cares about off-the-ball movement. And it sounds super disrespectful to say Dani Olmo or Lionel Messi. But for the flick system and defense, pressing hard, it's super intense. I think that Dani Olmo is better for the system. Now, it sounds wrong. I'm not going to lie. It sounds flat out wrong. I can't lie. I just compared Dani Olmo to Lionel Messi. You can't do that, right? But I'm going to be real. I just think that in the flick system, right? And if Messi accepts being a sub, maybe I think about it. But then I just don't want the team to only play for Messi. I need the team to play for the team.
So I'll finish my point. So I said all that, right? I said all of that. I'd be as excited as anyone. But there's always a but. Whether Flick will be okay with this move, it's another story. Whether that's the best thing for Barcelona money-wise, that's true. It works money-wise. It really works. Now, Barcelona has a problem on their hand, especially if Nico Williams comes in. We have to move Rafinha number 10 or move Dani Olmo to the false 9 position. Now, where is Messi going to play? Is Messi going to be okay with coming in at a minimum deal? Is he going to be okay with that? Is he going to be okay with playing 15, 20 minutes at the end of games? I don't think so, especially with the story coming out that he wants to play in a better competition so that he is informed for the World Cup. So Messi is going to want to be a superstar for somebody. He wants to be a protagonist for someone. So if that someone is not going to be Barcelona cannot guarantee Lionel Messi that playing time. Now, another issue is now he's going to come in and not wear the number 10 because the Lamine Yamal is going to have the 10. So that's a little off right there, just right off the bat. So there's all the other moving parts that are just not going to make it work.
You said something that I didn't even think of. If Messi comes back to Barca, you're telling me that he's not getting the number 10 and Lamine Yamal is just getting it. So it's like, I'm not gonna lie, this is a great comment. Like, it's not that I don't want him, but it's true. It's kind of nostalgia. That's super true. NJ says, like, it's kind of nostalgia to, like, if we're gonna be a proper serious team, right? Like, I'm gonna be honest, I'd rather not have Messi, to be honest. Like, it sounds crazy, but Lionel Messi, I think the era has passed. I would love if we could have him for a one-day contract. We can do like a friendly with Inter Miami. But, brother, if we have Lionel Messi, and guys, I know the chat, you guys, a lot of you guys want Lionel Messi. But it's like, real quick. How would Lionel Messi and Lewandowski play in the same team? You can't press. You cannot press high press with Lionel Messi and Robert Lewandowski on the same team. It's impossible. Like, do not even try to do a tactic. Even, can you park the bus properly if you have Lewandowski and Lionel Messi? You have two guys who can't press 100%. That's my biggest issue.
Yeah, well, one thing that I will say is that, okay, so I from what I'm seeing in like in the chat, like I think that for Messi, what do you think about Napoli? Because Maradona, as we all know, Maradona played for Napoli, and actually I think he won a title with Napoli, and Napoli just won the Serie A. Napoli is probably the best team in Italy right now. We all saw what Inter Milan did in the Club World Cup. We also saw what Juventus just lost to Real Madrid, right? So Italy didn't have a great representative for this Club World Cup, and Napoli next year with Kevin De Bruyne as well, they can be a force to be reckoned with next season. And I think Messi, he can take this team to the next level, honestly, and he can be have a starting role for this Napoli team for next season. I think it just makes a lot of sense, Messi to Napoli, to be honest. Even it makes a lot more sense than it would for Barcelona.
Yeah, no, because I think, I'm going to be honest, if we had a Xavi, if we had a guy like Ronald Koeman, like if we have a manager that, in a way, pressing super tough, you know what I'm saying, super intense pressing, you could get away with playing a Lionel Messi. But with Flick, the way that we play, I don't know if it makes sense. Guys, I'm going to be real with you guys. I love Lionel Messi, bro. That's my favorite player ever. You know, it's Messi number 1, Neymar number 2 for me, right? But I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it makes sporting sense. Marketing wise, of course it makes sense. It's Lionel Messi. Every game is must watch.
Every game's a sellout. Every game's a sellout with Messi,
when he went to MLS for Inter Miami, I was legitimately watching their first 7-8 games. On his debut, he scores a banging free kick. This is Lionel Messi we're talking about. But when it comes back to going to Barca, I don't think it makes sense. If Barcelona want to win a Champions League, if they want to win even La Liga, I don't think it makes sense anymore at this stage of his career. I'm just being logical more than.
I mean, the Messi signing wouldn't break the deal as far as not winning La Liga. I'll say that. I'll say that much. Like, Messi still got it. Like, Messi, like I said, Messi, if he comes in like 15, 20 minutes every game, he can still give you that flair, give you everything he's got for 20 to 25 minutes. That would be insane. It will be like a golden, like, Fermin, right? I call him the golden bench player. He literally, Messi could be the 12th man. You know, like, you know what that means, right? The 12th man, kind of like what they do in the NBA, and they call it the sixth man, right?
Torres was that for us.
It's like, who is the better player who is not starting, right? And for us, that was Ferran Torres. I agree with you. Messi can be the best player not starting for these 11, like right now, but is he gonna be okay with that? That's a totally different story. And I think Napoli just makes so much sense, man. I hope Napoli dive into this. Imagine in their history of a club, right? Having Maradona and Lionel Messi stepped on their clubs and stepped on their stadium, dude. That's insane, man.
And no, it makes more sense for him to go to Napoli because that league it's way more calm. In Serie A, also, you can do the one-man band thing. You know what I'm saying? Where you have one superstar player. Serie A right now, it's more like that type of league where you can just have one guy be an absolute maverick, the superstar, and it's okay. You know, Barcelona, Real Madrid, you can't really do that. You have to build a proper team. And just like NJ says, This Messi to Barca thing, it's a new era. It was a thing of the past. Messi won 4 Champions League for us. This guy absolutely made the history of Barca, absolutely from a great club to a legendary club. Lionel Messi is the best player to ever wear the jersey of FC Barcelona. The jersey that you guys see right there, he's the best player to ever wear it. But I'm like, we don't need him back. I don't think it makes sense logically. You know what I'm saying?
Also, one thing that I forgot to mention, you made a great point. The 1-day deal, it's so good. I hope they can do this. Like I'm expecting Barca next year, maybe once the stadium is fully completed, to do basically like just a farewell, a friendly game against whoever Messi's playing right now, and just give him like that just last hurrah, right? Like that last game, and give him a 1-day contract, and maybe that game he can play with Barcelona. Maybe he can play the full match with Barcelona, that game that he's playing against his team, right? And they can do that 1-day contract, and then Messi can retire as a Barca fan, as a Barca player. That would be perfect case scenario. Unfortunately, guys, we didn't get Messi's farewell last season, right? Knowing that this is last season for him, we didn't have a chance to do that. Laporta thought he could get him, and at the end of the day, like, he couldn't pull it off. And honestly, like, we all wish that in a perfect world everything goes right, but we live in a world of problems. Like, we all have problems, and things are always going to happen, and life isn't perfect. And in a perfect world, of course, we would have want this, but now we can't just keep clinging into this.
Yeah, no, real talk. But guys, you know what's funny enough? I do want to move on. And you said Yamal Laporta. The way, Yamal Laporta, he couldn't re-sign Messi. He went on a free to pay at PSG. And I want to speak about Yamal Laporta because I just want to give him some credit. Because Barcelona, it looks like for some time, we've been near the 1-to-1 rule. And guys in the chat, get your words on Yamal Laporta because, in my opinion, this guy, we just speak about Lionel Messi, the best footballer to ever play for Barca. Laporta is the best president. And I want to show you guys this. Look at the screen. Yamal Laporta, this was a possible 11, right, in the Copa del Rey that Yamal Laporta came in and walked to. And the reminder, on the bench, there was nothing much. There really wasn't much, right? Bro. And let's be honest, Yamal Laporta, the way that he changed Barcelona financially, right, from Bartomeu, but more importantly for me, sporting-wise. Look at the squad that we have now with better finances. We didn't have to spend big money for every single one of our players. Half of the players are from the academy, right? And then you have key players like Rafinha, Kunde, right? You got Lewandowski. You got so many key guys that you got on a free also like Christensen, right? And Yamal Laporta, people have to put some respect on his name because he had an impossible job. And guess what? I know it sucks. We haven't got that UCL with Yamal Laporta right now, but he's done very, very good. I'm looking at this lineup. Barca volume, are you expecting to win, a UCL within 2 years with this lineup?
Like, oh my God, dude. Honestly, I even forgot about Neto, bro. Like, I remember everybody else, like Trincao, Puig, Pjanic. No, man, you can't really. What do you expect with this? Like, we got swept by Real Madrid, right? For sure.
Yeah, we got smashed. I think they beat us. I think one of the seasons they beat us 3 times, and then it was a draw the other one. So they never did the clean sweep against us. But, dude, it was ugly, bro. Like, I remember this era, those 2-3 years at Barcelona, guys. I genuinely, when I say this, I was not excited for games. Like, genuinely, I was like, oh, it felt like a job that I got to watch Barcelona. And I can't believe that was how I felt at the time. But Yamal Laporta, that's why I love him so much as a president. This guy walked in. He had a harder job than Bartomeu. Bartomeu, how do you destroy Barcelona's future? You have Lionel Messi. You have guys like Luis Suarez. You have Iniesta. You have the end of Xavi. You know what I'm saying? Xavi was an older player. Then he left right after the treble, right? You have so many guys, Neymar. And you messed it up. You legitimately, even forget the players. You messed up our finances. You made us go broke. You made us have all these problems. And Yamal Laporta, guys, I have to put it back on the screen. I don't think you guys understand this. To go from this to Lewandowski, right? Who might not even be starting this year. Dani Olmo. You got Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, Pedri, Frankie de Jong, Marc Bernal, right? Jules Koundé, Balde. You still got Araujo, but then you got guys like Christensen, Cabarsi. It's ridiculous, and the goalkeeper, Jan Garcia. And can you believe this? Before you go again, but it's like, did you know that Neto is the most expensive Barcelona goalkeeper ever? I never knew about that. We bought Neto for 38 million euros. I don't know how nobody speaks about that. They speak about the Ousmane Dembele, Coutinho. They speak about Griezmann, those deals being bad. We bought Neto for, I believe, 38 million euros. How did Bartomeu get away with that one and not get criticized?
No, that's crazy, bro. The Bartomeu. But it's gonna sound really strong. But Bartomeu was really a cancer for our club. Like, not him personally, right? But all his due diligence, everything he did around the club was literally like a Real Madrid fan trying to run the club. Because every single decision was a bad decision. How do you give Lenglet 16 million euros a year, bro? Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you think? Who told you that is a good deal? Like, I'm just like, I don't even know what to say, to be honest with you. But honestly, to your credit, Laporta, bro, like Laporta came in, this was a total mess, and slowly but surely, dude, you got to give him time. Look, he's at the end of his tenure, right? The next tenure is coming up, and now we can start to see everything that we harvested, like that Laporta has been doing, and we can see everything. Like, we can see the fruits now. We can see everything is shining, and like it starts with Hansi Flick, and now Hansi Flick has one more year, one more off season to take into next season, and now the team is going to be even better financially. We're going to be even better next year, so we can go out and sign maybe a Julian Alvarez, Isaac, you name it. Next season will be even more exciting because we're going to have a little bit more money to spend. And everything that he's been doing with Barcelona's debt and prolonging refinancing with the Goldman Sachs, with the JP Morgans and everything. I think the fact that he's so well connected and he can get these deals and he can lower the yearly payments for the debt that Barca has right now, so they be closer to the 1-1 rule. It's just so methodical. It's such a great job that Joan Laporta is able to do, and it's crazy. It's crazy that we were talking about him leaving when the Dani Olmo saga was happening in December, bro.
No, I can't lie, bro. Like, I've criticized Laporta openly. I can't lie. At times, Dani Olmo, when he was unregistered for like a couple weeks, I was like, how did this happen? Like, how do you unregister? But for the most part, if I'm being real with you guys, Jan Laporta has been a very good president. People don't even realize this. We spoke about the Camp Nou earlier in this live, right? The Camp Nou, he did all of this squad building with the stadium. And a lot of clubs, I'm looking at Arsenal, you look at Tottenham, these big clubs in the Premier League, they make money, they make dough, you know what I'm saying? And these guys, they excuse not making signings because they have a stadium that they're building. Jan Laporta has legitimately made Barcelona's squad stronger, right? Of course, most of it's because of the academy, La Masia, big thanks to them. But like Laporta still did a lot of things. Not everybody from our squad is from La Masia, right? Laporta has fully built the squad where now you're looking into a next summer. All you really need is a center back and a striker, and you're sitting pretty for the next, who knows, the next 7 years. Legitimately, you're looking very, very good. The only criticism that I have left of Laporta really is that, can we be a better selling club? That's it. That's really it. Because Laporta, you guys need to remember, the Champions League, his job, that is not to win the Champions League. Obviously, it's to build a squad for the Champions. I want to win the Champions League, but
and it's so difficult. Sorry to interrupt you. It's so difficult right now to be a better selling club right now because nobody wants to leave.
Yeah, that's the thing. Laporta, this is the thing. It happens with Real Madrid too, but I always question, how can Real Madrid, they sell better than us? Like, they legitimately, I've remembered deals that they've sold. You know what I'm saying? They sold Cristiano Ronaldo, when he was 33 off of a Champions League, right? Real Madrid, that's the one thing I'll give to them. They know when to sell. Where Barcelona, we always hold a player just a year too long, and we regret it that, man, if we sold this player just last year, could have been 80 million. It happens all the time.
It's not that Real Madrid wanted to sell Ronaldo. I think that the Ronaldo exit with Real Madrid, it just sort of happened because Juventus was offering everything that Cristiano Ronaldo was demanding, because Cristiano Ronaldo was looking at Messi, right? Cristiano Ronaldo was looking at what Barca was doing for Messi, and Cristiano Ronaldo was like, well, I'm just as good as, if not better, right? He thinks that he's better than Messi. So I'm like, I'm just as good as, if not better than Messi. How come Messi's making this? I'm not making this. I want to make this much money. And we know now, because of the audios that leaked about 2 years ago from Florentino Perez, that he called him crazy, right? And now we know it's because Cristiano Ronaldo was asking for much more money, and Florentino
Yeah,
Perez was like, "I'm not paying that." And then Juventus was like, "Okay, we'll pay it," and then he left. So that's kind of why it's not that Real Madrid wanted to sell, but they just wouldn't budge, right? They just wouldn't pay them what he was demanding.
yeah, I know. But bro, at the end of the day, I'm looking at it, bro. I know Laporta likes Julian Alvarez, but I don't know how we're gonna fund that deal, man. If we can get guys in the chat, let me know the striker that you want, because I'm looking at the deal, right? If we can get Alvarez, because ideally all you need is a striker, but realistically, how much is Alvarez gonna cost you? Like, he would be like a Bartomeu type of signing figure. I'm saying just the fee. It would be around what, 105 million. That's what I would say is fair for both
Mm-hmm.
teams. That's Atletico Madrid's best player, right? I'm like, I don't know how we're gonna fund it. Even Isak, bro, everybody thinking that we're gonna get Alvarez next year, but I'm looking at the price tag. How is Barcelona gonna do it unless if there's some secret release clause that we don't know about? You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't think. I don't think. I think Isak will definitely be more expensive than Alvarez. I see Alvarez being going for around 110. Alvarez, remember, Atletico Madrid got I think Julian Alvarez for 90. So they overpay for Julian Alvarez. Like, they paid a lot of money for Alvarez, so they're not going to let him go for anywhere. I'm guessing even it's probably going to take like 120 with add-ons or something. I don't think it's going to be anything less than, yeah, Ninja, you're exactly right. 110. It's like right
That's
on the money
ridiculous.
for him. I think Isak can very well cost you like 130, 140, because you know how hard it is to sell something to buy something from a rich man, from a rich
For real, bro.
corporation. And
They need
there's
the
something
money.
that Newcastle has is money. Like, they don't care for money. Like, it's like, why would I sell Isak? Like, they're gonna be like, yo, okay, pay me his release clause. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, to me, I think the more realistic signing will be Julian Alvarez, who you can convince Atletico Madrid to let him go. And I think it's going to be for around 110. I would love Isak. Yeah, I would love $1 million. It's like, it's what I would love. But remember, who is the owner for Isak? His contract is owned by an oil company, an oil owner, a super rich billionaire that owns Newcastle, and you can't really buy it from them. I would say probably Atletico Madrid would want to sell and just cash out and make a good money out of it.
Nah, but I'm not gonna lie. When I'm looking at it, right, I'm looking at, dude. If we get Isak or Alvarez, I think it's gonna be because the player is kind of forcing a move, because there's no other way Barca's gonna get it done with the players. If they're gonna be content with where they are, it's gonna be very tough. I think that it's gonna be a place where Newcastle, Atletico Madrid, it has to be Isak or Alvarez forcing a move to make it happen. And I'm not gonna lie, Alvarez, Isak, those two players, those are two players that I'm willing to sacrifice a very decent player for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys said Araujo. Even I'll throw in Fermi. Like, if it means we're gonna get the striker of the future, it's definitely worth it. You know what I'm saying? But
No, yeah.
my last point about this is that Alvarez, I would actually rather have him, because just the ways than when we played Atletico Madrid, the times when we played them, this guy's a problem. This guy does everything. He runs down loose balls. The way that he can connect 1-2s with Argentina, when I see with Messi, right, and Di Maria in the World Cup. This guy does everything. He's a team player, and he's also
Mhm.
feisty. This guy is very tenacious. He's a dog, bro, and he scores goals also. And I think more chances, Julian Alvarez would definitely cook. Bro. What are you saying about that?
Yeah, no, Julian Alvarez is a stud. Like, he proved himself at the World Cup in 2022. We're 4 years into it. 3 years into it. Next year will be 4 years into that big performance. He kind of put his name out there for the world to see everything that he could do in 2022. He did the same thing with Manchester City. Honestly, he coming into Atletico Madrid was a little bit of a bad decision by Julian Alvarez, because we all know that he's a little bit like overachieving, right? Like, he's way too good for that club. Like, Atletico Madrid,
He messed
unfortunately, I
up.
mean, they did this year. They low key getting really great players. Alex Baena is an
Bayern is
amazing player.
quality.
He's
He's
gonna
quality.
do a lot of things. And by the way, nobody's talking about it. Guess what? He's not being called a traitor by Villarreal. They picked up his release clause like a professional, right? Villarreal did. and they cash in on him and like a pro. You don't have to make a movie. You don't have to make a drama about it like Athletic Club is doing with Nico Williams. You just got to let it go. But low-key, Atletico Madrid is getting a lot of good signing. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with next season. Everybody's getting better. But at the end of the day, Julian Alvarez makes a bad decision to go, but he needed to go somewhere where he can be a star for somebody. And Atletico Madrid was that team, and he's shining, dude. If Barcelona can take it away and get that player, I think that would be amazing. He's if there's ever a player that can play under the high press system that Hansi Flick the man,
Alvarez.
Julian Alvarez, bro. And he can press like Ferran Torres, and he can finish like Lewandowski. He's an incredible finish, by the way. We still haven't seen the best of Julian Alvarez. He's an incredible finisher. The more chances that he's going to get with Barca, dude, he's going to be a 30-plus goal guaranteed, bro.
Rafinha, think about it, bro. I love Nico, but just imagine Rafinha 10, right? You could have Nico Williams on the left. You could have Lamine Yamal on the right. And then you could have Alvarez as a striker. It's ridiculous, bro. I can't even lie.
It's a cheat code. And that team right there will tell you what a cheat code is to have a prolific striker at number 9. Having Nico Williams on the left with those dribbles. Having the best dribbler in the world right now in Lamine Yamal on the right. Having Julian Alvarez at number 9. And having Rafinha behind him, dude. It's over.
Bro.
It's over, bro. It's over.
Yamal Laporta, if you hear us, if you ever watch this live stream, Yamal Laporta, if you're watching somehow, one of the board members are watching the live, guys, figure out how to get Alvarez to Barcelona because that would be an absolute problem. But guys, this will probably wrap it up. Guys, Barca Volume, his title for his channel is in the title, right? I plugged it in there so you guys can just tap if you are new. Also subscribe to my guy, right? And listen, guys, smash up the likes if you're watching on the playback. Comment Visca Barca if you made it this far, right? And guys, subscribe to the channel. Check out the videos. I've been dropping videos every other day. And guys, there's a lot more topics that will be talked about. Nico Williams, his signing is imminent. But Barca Volume, last words before we dip, bro.
Yeah, no. Just gotta say something real quick. So, like the stream before we end it. There's 43 watching, 36 likes. If you guys can get those likes up. But what I do want to say, I want to announce. Episode 3 is dropping on Saturday, 9 a.m. on my channel, Barca Volume. Culés only, right? That's the show that I have. And I forgot. I have to check on my schedule. I have you on, right?
Yeah. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Bro.
So it'll be me and Jonas on Saturday. Actually, 12 p.m. Right, Jonas?
Did you 12 p.m. Eastern time. It's 9 a.m. Western.
No. But did you ask me to move it up, or do you?
No, I mean, listen. Ideally, listen. I think just 1 hour back would be beautiful, like 10 a.m.
Okay, so we'll do it 10. We'll do it at 10. No problem. Culés only podcast number 3 with Jonas at 10 a.m. guys. So go check out my channel. I would really appreciate it. But we'll have videos in between. So yeah, we'll take it away, bro.
Yeah, so that's 10 a.m. Western, right? If you're on the East Coast, that's, I think, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Guys, legitimately, just do us easy, guys. Legitimately, just have post notifications on so you know whenever I drop a video or live. And same with Barca Volume. But, guys, big up to the chat, right? Hey, where am I from? I'm from Somalia, bro. I'm from Somalia, but I'm from California, bro. That's where I'm from. So, big up to all y'all, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace, Visca Barca.